Hello and welcome to our webinar today. I'm Angela Cuyava from Logic Solutions, makers of Showcase, and we are going to talk about revolutionizing sales with mobile technology. So first I'd like to talk about the popular trends in mobile technology today because, as you know, mobile is on the scene in a big way. 6.8 million Android and iOS devices were activated on Christmas Day, and those people downloaded 242 million apps in just one day. That week, more than 1 billion apps were downloaded by mobile users. That's huge. But in that case, we are talking about both smartphones and tablets. But if we just want to focus on tablets, Mashable reports by the end of 2011, 29 million Americans owned a tablet or e-reader. So that would be your iPads, your Android tablets, your HP tablets, your Kindles. Apple alone sold 15.43 million iPads in the most recent quarter, which is up from 9 million iPads in the third fiscal quarter 2011. So tablet usage is growing substantially and quickly. Now, Apple used to be the big player in tablets, while Android had a slight lead in the market share for smartphones, but we can see that Android is really starting to tackle the tablet market. This year, 39% of the market share for tablets is occupied by Android compared to 29% this time last year. Now, Google has some things to say about mobile development for businesses because really, when we were talking about mobile, what we were seeing was consumer usage and not business usage. But that's starting to change. In 2011, businesses actually started thinking mobile first, and what Google says is that smartphones and tablets aren't small desktop computers, they're new devices being used in entirely new ways. And this year, meaning 2011, businesses began to embrace this at scale, and many saw good things happen. And Logic Solutions can echo that sentiment. And we really love developing B2B apps, which is why we came up with Showcase. We saw a real need in the market for a catalog application that really catered to the sales professional. But let's talk first about the catalog applications that are on the market right now. So these apps are primarily B2C, or business to consumer. They really have page flipping functionality, although some do have hot links in the images. Ordering from an app requires an internet connection, and I'll show you why in a minute. Now, the one good thing about these apps is they tend to be pretty cost inclusive, so even very small businesses might be able to do this if they have their data somewhere that can be easily uploaded to a merchant center. So, of course, one of the big names in this business is Google Catalogs, probably the most popular name everybody knows. Google Catalogs runs much like Apple in that you do have to be approved before you can put your catalog in Google Catalogs. And how you do that is you send a PDF of your current catalog to Google for review. Once they have accepted your catalog, they will give you a login account for the Google Merchant Center, and then you have to upload your data feed. So the feed must be formatted to Google specifications, including basic product information, availability and price, unique product identifiers, variants, tax and shipping, all the information that you would normally put in a catalog. However, as I said earlier, purchasing cannot be done within the app. So if we take a look at the chair here that's on our page, we can see that it is $799 in addition to being quite colorful. And below the price, you can see a button that says Buy on Website. And so what happens if you tap that on your app is you would be taken out of the Google Catalogs application into the Safari or Chrome browser, depending on which device you're using, to the chair company's website, and then you would purchase it on there. Next, we have an app called The Find. This is very much like Google Catalogs, and you can see that there are some big box names that have put their catalogs on The Find. They use their own merchant center called Upfront Merchant to create user accounts. However, if you do look in the forums for The Find, you can see that the data that if you're a catalog who's using the Google Merchant feed, you can use the same data for the find. So this app can browse through different catalogs. You can save finds in your own personal catalog, integrate with Facebook. The one cool thing about the find is that this syncs with the website, thefind.com. So if you have saved items, you can actually browse them from your computer on a regular web browser. You don't necessarily have to have your mobile device with you. The other thing that the Find does is that it uses the innate camera in the device, so you can visualize how furniture would look with your camera view. Then we have Catalog Spree. Again, you can see this is much more of the same. Same browsing, same sharing on Facebook, very similar to the rest. The one differentiating factor that we've seen in Catalog Spree is, again, it uses one of the innate functions of the tablet, the touchscreen pinch function. And so you can actually pinch on an item to expand it and see a closer look of it, which we see with this little girl's lovely pink dress here. So I throw iTouch catalog in here just so you can see what is sort of the very low end of your catalog options. This is a simple menuing system. You can see on the page that the catalogs on the left-hand side do not have any of their own branding with the exception of their logo. And then down at the bottom right, there's actually an ad within the app. So, if you're really not at all concerned with your own marketing, this may be an option for you, but we find that most people, really do want their own branding when they release a catalog to the world. So again, these types of catalogs serve retailers, consumers, and really B2C companies. Who they don't serve are B2B companies, companies that sell by remote sales force, wholesalers, and manufacturers. And that's where Showcase comes in. So we like to say Showcase is more than an app, it's a sales revolution. And it's actually an elegant iPad solution. And I say iPad because that's what we have in release now. We are developing an Android version that will be ready sometime summer 2012. There's a savvy content management system backend, and this is a wireless syncing tool. Showcase serves retailers, B2B companies, companies that sell by remote sales force, and that's very key, wholesalers and manufacturers. And what we're doing is we're capitalizing on the mobile boom. So what Showcase is an iPad or tablet-based Salesforce automation solution that's made for use by field reps to enhance how they market and sell products. So if you can imagine when you go out in the field now to sell your products to various retailers, you've got to pack your catalogs, pack your order forms, map out where your customers are, take orders by hand or do them on your laptop. You've got to, if you have a presentation, you have to secure a projector in a conference room. It's really quite cumbersome, all of these things added up. And with Showcase, all you have to do is pack your iPad. Showcase offers a product catalog, quote order entry, inventory lookup, customer lookup, sales materials, and much more. And because you as a company manage the data via Showcase CMS or even your own database, you have total control to update your data instantly. So with just the tap of a button, a sales rep can sync to your database to pull new information or to push orders for fulfillment. And we'll see how that works. Showcase consists of three primary components: Showcase for iPad, which is that front-end mobile application; Showcase CMS, which is the content management system to manage your product and other data, such as customer data; and then Showcase Sync, which is that mechanism that synchronizes the data between all your devices and the database. So the app features on Showcase, the front-end mobile app, are a catalog with products, descriptions, categorization levels, multiple images, and full attributes browsing, a 360-degree product viewer, product comparison table, search query, cross-sell and upsell recommendations. So think of something like when you shop Amazon.com and you order, let's say, a sweatshirt. And Amazon says, if you like this, you may also like the sweatpants, maybe. And so the cross-sell and upsell recommendations that are built into Showcase are really there to help the salesperson increase their total sales revenue. So there's sales transaction with a quote creation function, order entry, email integration, and inventory lookup. There's customer management, so customer lookup and annotation, GPS integration, and even prospect geo-targeting. On the marketing side, you have a sales materials library, which helps you store videos, online brochures, testimonials, case study studios, presentations, anything you could really need to be able to sell your products. And again, because this is all downloaded to the device, you don't have to have online functionality in order to, say, play a video. It's right there on the device, and it can play without any Wi-Fi or 3G or 4G connection. Then you have full integration, which allows you to have that offline functionality so you can save your actions for later syncing. And the synchronization is a delta or two-way push and pull syncing between the database and the devices. Now, I do want to stress here that when you think about the next feature, which is the CMS and the sync, if you're a larger company, you might be thinking, another software implementation that's so time-consuming and it's really an undertaking for any sort of company. I want to stress that Showcase can integrate with your existing back-end system. Logic Solutions, as the developers of Showcase, we have had 16 years, since 1995, we have been doing sophisticated web development in addition to our mobile development that we started in 2008. We are data integration experts, and so we can write the communication between your database to the front-end mobile app. If your data is managed by a third party, we can also work with that third party in order to ensure that you don't have to go through a new software implementation. And so with the CMS and Sync, we've got the ability to add, edit, and delete product data such as price, SKU number, category tree, images, descriptions, discounts. You can have tiered pricing, just any product data you can upload to the devices with the sync. And then again, there's this two-way synchronization. Let's talk a little bit about the benefits, because we've got really two stories here. We have the benefits to the sales reps and then the benefits to the company as a whole. So you can increase profits by accelerating the sales cycle because you're really transacting orders right on the spot. You can potentially increase revenue because you're making more sales at a time, and also because you've got this really great upsell and cross-sell recommendations. You can generate more meaningful and quicker sales metrics, maintain total and instant control over your product data, ensuring that is presented accurately by the sales force. And again, you can produce offline when not in Wi-Fi, 3G, or 4G range. In addition to increasing your profits, you will simplify and lower your costs by streamlining the sales process, minimizing human error and reducing printing and design expenditures, providing a limitless means to send well-timed electronic sales materials to the field sales reps, and you'll sustain your culture and reputation by impressing your customers, attracting and retaining savvy sales professionals, and displaying your commitment to innovation with mobile technology. So now we are going to switch over to our emulator and take a look at some of these apps in action. You'll see my cursor on the screen, and if you can imagine that that's my finger tapping the iPad, you'll be able to walk through these apps with me. So first we've got Maui Jim's Showcase application, and you can see here that there's a login screen. Maui Jim wanted an extra layer of security for a couple reasons. One, because their application has confidential customer and product data. And should it fall in the wrong hands, it would be very easy to obtain without this login. And so by having this layer of security at the front, Maui Jim can disable access to an app on a device basis from their back-end system. The other function this serves is to determine which language to show the app in. So Maui Jim has this app deployed in several different countries with, I believe, about 5 different languages. And by logging in as my username with my password, I am telling the application which language that I want my interface displayed in. So we'll go ahead and tap the login button. Okay, and we come here to the home screen. You'll see that this order section is faded right now. And that's because Maui Jim has chosen to have their app be very customer-centric. And so prior to being able to place any order, the sales rep must first choose a customer. So we will go to the customer button, and you can see that our customers are listed here in alphabetical order. I could also sort them by city or by state, but I'm going to leave them in alphabetical order right here. If I press the blue icon, blue arrow icon next to the name, I can see details. So the customer name, the customer number, whether or not there's a credit hold, etc. Close that out. We'll choose our customer. And then you can see that it populates up here in the upper right. I'll go back to my home page, and now this order button is in full color. Next we'll go to the catalog. And Maui Jim's reps are highly educated about their product base. And so there was no need for Maui Jim to do levels of tiered categorization. So they've got all their products just listed here and they're scrollable. I am going to choose the canoes. Okay, so now we are in the canoes product detail page. And you can see that in the middle here we've got a large shot of the product. You can go through the different SKU variations of that by dragging my finger across that area. I've got my SKU variations listed along the side, and if I were to press any of these blue icons, what pops up is my 360 product viewer. And so by swiping my finger, I can actually turn the product and view it from any angle. Now the 360 product viewer can be accomplished from a technology standpoint in a few different ways. You can do image rendering on the products, which many of the car companies do. Image rendering is highly sophisticated and it can be cost prohibitive for some companies. And so what Maui Jim did is a great way to get around that, in that they have images of their products from every 18 degrees. And what we do is we just program that so that when you swipe your finger, the appropriate image, the appropriate side is shown. Okay, so we'll close out of that. We've got our product description section and then our ordering section. So if I click on the different SKU variations, you'll see that the SKU variations section in the order box also changes. And now I can just tap on my quantity. Say I want to order 5 of these for my retail outlet. I could also manually add the quantity with my keyboard on the iPad. But it's much easier to just push the plus or minus unless you're doing a very, very large number of orders. And then I add that to my cart. Let's say I wanted to order some of the black gloss. I could also use the dial here to switch the SKU. I'm going to order 10 of these. And then let's go to my order. So you can see that I've got the tortoise colored, they're $104.50. I have 5. I could tap the delete button if I wanted to delete them, but I don't. I've got the black gloss at 10. And I can go down to the bottom of my order screen. I could forward date the order if I wanted to. Could add in a PO number with my keyboard. And I could even change how I want these delivered. So then if I go ahead and save this order, what we're going to see is an email confirmation pop up. And I can send that to anyone I want. I can send it to myself, I can send it to the client, I can send it to corporate. This is really a nice feature because you can provide the client instant confirmation if you wanted to. I'm going to delete that draft, and then I'm going to go into my sync function. So with Maui Jim's app, when you press save order, it is saved to the device. It does not automatically sync to the back end. You could choose to have the order automatically sync to the back end. That's up to you. We see here in the top section, the blue button says submit orders. This is the push part of the application. So as a Maui Jim sales rep, when I'm ready, when I'm in wireless 3G or 4G range, I would hit submit orders and send it to my backend database. I could also get updates. This is the pull. This is where the sales rep would pull information from the product database or customer database. In updated versions of this application, we have built in the review unsubmitted orders button, just so you can go back and make sure that everything is as it should be before you sync. So I am going to go now to the Mod Furniture application, which is a much different look and feel than Maui Jim. This is a very product-centric application. So if we go into the catalog, you can see that there is a categorization tree. I can minimize that tab and just use the two-fingered pinch feature on the iPad. Not in the emulator right now, but if I were actually using the iPad, I could do that. So I'm going to choose Executive Desks. We have a hotspot up in the corner that has a short description that allows for quick reference for the salespeople. And like I was describing before, we also have that cross-sell and upsell feature here, so it will show related products for the salesperson to suggest. I'm going to minimize those, pull out our tab here. We can see details about this desk, its size, its material. We've got different SKU variations, which will update the ID number here. I can add this to the product comparison table. Now right now we've only got one product in there, but you can have up to 4. Again, in other versions of Showcase, the comparison table is much more than just images comparison, but full product details comparisons. I'm done here. I will go to the favorites button. I've added my executive desk here to my list of favorites, and then if I go up to the favorite buttons at the top, we can see all of my favorite products listed. Now you can do your favorites in one of 2 ways. You can have it favorite by salesperson. So if your salespeople sell, say, the same 15 products quite frequently, you can have them use this as a place to keep those so that they can go for quick reference. You can also have the favorites button be favorites by customer. So if a customer orders a certain number of products frequently, you can do it by customer. Then I'm going to add one of these to my cart. I'll add 2 actually. We'll select that. We'll go to our quote and order page, and you can see our product right here with the price and the quantity. Okay, so the difference between this application and the one we previously saw, or this version, is in the syncing. So I could save to my iPad, which would save this order directly on my device. I could also immediately save to the server. So this would do a push sync immediately if I press this button. And then I have this send via email option. Let's check out some other features of Mod Furniture's Showcase. I can go to the Case Studies tab. This is a special customized feature Mod Furniture has chosen for their Showcase application, for which they can show off images of actual implementations of their furniture. Again, we can see that they make primarily furniture for the office and educational institutions. They also have a very cool product showroom. This almost looks like a CAD drawing. And if I touch one of these hot spots, I can see images of what their furniture may look like in its natural setting. So, for example, dorm room furniture here and what looks like a dorm room. And then finally, they've chosen to have a video. Now, of course, I'm showing the showcase video right here, which Mod Furniture is not using in the field, but they have their own proprietary video. And I just want to wrap up by saying Showcase is a highly customizable tool that you can use to do as little, like say just catalog and sync, or as much, catalog, quote, order, inventory, sales materials, you name it, as you want. That wraps up our webinar today. Thank you everyone for joining us. And for more information, please don't hesitate to visit us at showcaserevolution.com.